For free-to-play players, light spenders, and even to a degree, whales, you want to have as many units as possible, especially later down the line when you're trying to tackle those hard stages, such as Eternal Road. What's up, everybody? Fortexfiend here, and welcome back again to another video for SD Gundam G Generation Eternal. And for this video, I'm going to be doing a somewhat requested video, which is going to be the best free SR units that you should be considering to build and invest in. And that also counts for units that you want to consider using those precious SP conversion coins for. Now, why am I talking specifically about SR units? Aren't SR units not worth building? Well, to be honest, for the most part, a majority of the SR units in this game are not going to be worth really investing in. Some of them are just decent. Some of them are just downright bad. However, there are a few that we've narrowed down in this particular video that definitely excel above the rest. Now, a few things that I do want to point out with these SR units is that you definitely want to have the ones that we're mentioning to be full limit broken. And if you happen to have the SP conversion coins to do so, maybe consider using them for those. Now, a fully limit broken SR unit, especially the ones being mentioned in this video, also provided that you have them SP converted, have the potential to surpass and outpace a zero limit broken UR unit. So just put that into perspective, right? These are free units that you could get within the game. They don't cost you any diamonds. All you need are dupes. And if you have the SP coins provided, even better. And they can definitely outpace a 0 LB UR unit. So it requires virtually no spending, just a little bit of time on your hands, which again is very good for free-to-play players, light spenders, and even whales, because one of the units that I'm going to be talking about in this video, I actually SP converted myself. So just to give you guys a little context as to how these units can outperform UR units, you want to make sure they're fully max limit broken, and you also want to make sure that you want to consider using your SP conversion coins on them. Even if you don't, they're still really strong at full limit broken. Now, I am going to answer a question that I'm going to be getting. Hey, Fortex, are you going to be talking about the Gacha SR units later on? Aren't you going to be talking about the ones worth building for those? And the answer to that, for me specifically, is no. Now, why no? The reason why I want to talk about the free development SRs is because they don't require any pulling. When you're pulling on a gacha banner, what are you gunning for? You're gunning for primarily the UR units in the banner, and then to a certain degree, you also want to get some of those SSR gacha units because a majority of them are actually pretty solid. You're not really going for the gacha SRs or gacha Rs, right? So because it's not worth chasing dupes for gacha SRs, I'm not going to be talking about them at all. I think there's a lot more value for the free or the development SR units that are within the game. So without further ado, we've narrowed this down to 4 SR units. However, if none of the units that you think are worth mentioning are in this video, let me know in the comment section below. And we're going to kick things off with number 4, the Enhanced Double Zeta Gundam. So the Enhanced Double Zeta Gundam is an attacker type unit. It is part of the Double Zeta series. It also has access to some useful tags such as UC series, Gundam, Protagonist, Saikamu, and one-shot killer tags. All of those tags are fantastic currently in the game. If you happen to have the warships for Saikamu or even one-shot killer, which are some of the best in the game right now, that's a perfect ship to be using with this unit. It has access to a 2-ranged 5400 power up to 5940 power weapon skill, and the way you scale that damage higher is you want to be closer to the enemy for more damage. It also has access to 2 solid 4-ranged weapon skills, and then it also has access to a 4-ranged 6000 power weapon skill when you have tension max or greater. For its passives that are noteworthy, it has increased attack and vigor passives, and then it also has shield defend for some damage mitigation. So this is a fantastic SR unit to consider building because of those options that it has available mentioned right here. The third that we're going to be mentioning is going to be Justice Gundam from the Gundam Seed series. This unit is also an attacker. It has access to the Alternative, Gundam, Rival, Unstoppable, and Seed series tags, which are all very good tags currently in the game. It has access to a 3-range 6000 power up to 6600 weapon skill, with the damage going up the closer you are to the enemy. For its passives, it has increased attack, reduced physical weapon damage taken, and energy regen. And finally, for more damage mitigation, it also has shield defense. So another fantastic unit that is of the free SSR category that you should consider building, especially if you're free to play or a light spender or even a whale to a degree. The next one we're going to be mentioning, which is number 2, is actually a defender unit, which is the Forbidden Gundam. Also from Gundam Seed, we're seeing a theme here. So normally for this list, I was only going to be considering attacking type units. Supporters, not really, because if you have an SSR supporter with the higher modifiers for the debuffs, you're going to want to use those. Same thing for defenders, but this one, for an SR unit, was actually pretty cracked out for something that's free that you could just get in the game. So Seed Series also has the alternative Gundam, Lightning Fast, and Seed Series tags. It has access to a 3-range weapon skill with a 20% attack down debuff, so it does have that attack down debuff available for it. But for a defender unit, it has increased HP through its passives. Like if you actually SP convert this thing, it has like 110,000 HP, which is nuts for a free SR unit. It has reduced physical weapon damage taken, and then it also has another damage mitigation, which is reduced beam range damage weapon damage taken when it's defending or support defending via its passives. And then finally, it has another form of damage mitigation, which is shield defense. So for a durability type unit, being a free SR, this thing is pretty cracked out. If you guys don't believe me, just check out the GG Eternal wiki page and just take a look at the statistics. This thing is pretty crazy for an SR unit. And if you're looking for another tank and you're lacking in your roster, or you're trying to build for specific Eternal roads, such as the Seed Series ones, or even alternative, this is definitely one that you guys should definitely consider building and using. And finally, and this one should come to no surprise, the ultimate, the best free SR unit you should consider building and using your precious SP coins on is the Freedom Gundam. And my goodness, I don't know what they were thinking with this thing, but this thing is extremely powerful. It's part of the Seed series. I think there's a big love right now for Gundam Seed with this game. The devs must just really love Gundam Seed. But this unit also has access to the alternative Gundam protagonist, one-shot killer, and Seed series tags. So you tell me already, just by those tags alone, that's already crazy. This unit has an AoE absolute hit 3600 weapon skill. And as we've seen recently with stages that have recently come out, map attacks are very, very desirable right now. It also has access to a 4-range, 6000 power, up to 6600 weapon skill. With the higher your HP, the more weapon damage. So that's already pretty crazy too. And then for its passives, it has increased attack, reduced physical weapon damage taken, and energy regen. And then just to, give it more icing on the cake, this thing also has shield defense for damage mitigation. And I've used this thing even on my whale account for expert Eternal Road and also hard Eternal Road for the Seed series particular stages. And this thing was just absolutely powerful and very fun to use. If you put a very powerful pilot on it, such as, for example, if you want to go more of a free-to-play route, you could put the new free SSR Ko URAKI pilot because of the the increased tension that he has right off the bat to make this thing just do high burst damage right off the bat. Or if you even try putting, let's say, like a UR pilot, like UR Shar Aznable or UR Setsuna, this thing can really wreak havoc on enemy targets because it's just so strong and just definitely worth building. And a lot of players have definitely stood by this particular SR unit, and the fact that it's free is just absolutely insane. So this is going to go ahead and conclude this particular video for the best free SR units that you guys should consider to be building. What do you guys think? Was there one that I maybe should have mentioned? I know that there are some SR units that have conditional attacks at max tension. I've mentioned some here, but some of those, the reason why I didn't mention those, like for example, one of them is Shining Gundam. Shining Gundam actually has access to a 6000 weapon skill, provided that it's already like at the max tension or higher. But I didn't mention that one because a majority of the SR units, if you look them up, only have access to like one passive, where some of the ones that I've mentioned here have 3. That's the reason why I didn't mention those. So those are more of like decent SRs you could build, but they're definitely not as good as the ones mentioned in this video. But again, if I missed out on one, or you're like, you know what, I think this unit should have been on the list, or you should have at least mentioned it, let me know in the comment section below. But these are the ones that I will recommend to you guys for those of you that are free to play, light spenders, or even to a degree whales, because like for example, the SR Freedom Gundam, I built it on both my whale and free-to-play accounts, and I love using that thing. I just think it's crazy that it's a free unit that we could just start building right in the game. And yeah, I just absolutely love it. It just goes to show that every unit in this game is very usable to a certain degree, and some even more so than others. All right, guys, thank you guys for watching. Stay tuned for the next video, and stay blessed, everybody.
私もすでに覚悟はできています。何としてもこいつを突破しないと。